fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. We'll talk. I want to apologize. I know I wasn't able to do my Monday Night Football pregame and postgame show last night, but I'm going to recap that for you. So we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about the Cavs, talk about the Buckeyes, the Browns, and NBA basketball, college football, and NFL football. But first, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. What NBA player scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962? And it's not anybody who's playing today, but I will have the answer for you later in the broadcast. Were you ready for the football last night on Monday Night Football? The Houston Texans beat the Tennessee Titans at NRG Stadium 34-17. I forgot to write that. 34-17 last night at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas. The Titans, the Titans kicked a field goal from 31 yards out, and it was good. And the Titans jumped out to the early 3-0 lead. The Texans had the ball out there at the Tennessee 31-yard line and made 3 plays, and Deshaun Watson got sacked, and it was a 3-yard loss. On the Texans had to punt. The Titans scored their first touchdown of the game. And Matt Mariota passed short middle to Jonnu Smith for 61 yards, and it was a 10-0 Titans lead. The Texans scored their first touchdown of the game. Deshaun Watson passed to short right to D. Thomas for 12 yards, and it was a 10-7 Titans lead. The Titans had the ball at their own 25, made 4 plays, and went 3 and out, and had to punt. The Titans scored their second touchdown of the game. Deshaun Watson ran the pocket and the ball into the end zone for 15 yards, and it was a 14-10 Texans lead at the end of the first quarter. In the second, the Titans had the ball at their own 25, made 9 plays, but then had a turnover on downs, and the Texans got the ball back at their own 3-yard line and scored their third touchdown of the game. Lamar Miller for 97 yards, and that was a 21-10 Texans lead. Titans had the ball at their own 24, made 5 plays, and went 3 and out, and the Titans had the punt. Then the Titans had the ball at their own 13, made 9 plays, went 3 and out, and had the punt. The Titans had the ball at their own 20, made 4 plays, and went 3 and out, and they had the punt again. The Texans kicked the field goal from 43 yards out, and it was good, and it was a 24-10 Texans lead at halftime. In the third, the Texans kicked a field goal from 47 yards out, and it was good, and it was 27-10 Texans lead. The Titans had the ball at their own 22, made 8 plays, and went 3 and out, and had the punt. The Texans had the ball at their own 13 and made 3 plays, and Deshaun Watson got sacked again for a 1-yard loss, and the Texans had the punt. The Titans scored their second touchdown of the game. Marcus Mariota passed to deep right to Corey Davis for 48 yards, and it was a 27-17 Texans lead. The Texans had the ball at their own 25 and made 3 plays and went 3 and out, and the Texans had the punt, and the Texans had a 27-17 lead at the end of the third quarter. To the fourth we go. The Titans had the ball at their own 18 and made 3 plays and went 3 and out. And Marcus Mariota was sacked, and that was a 6-yard loss on the play, and the Titans had the punt. The Texans scored their fourth and final touchdown of the game. Deshaun Watson passed short right to D. Thomas for 10 yards, and the Titans had a 34-17 lead. The Titans had the ball at their own 25, made 3 plays, and went 3 and out, and the Titans had the punt. The Texans had the ball at their own 26, made 9 plays, and went 3 and out, and the Texans had the punt, and the Titans had the ball at their own 9, and in the final seconds and in the final minute and a half, Tennessee fumbled the ball, and the Texans got the ball back, and all they had to do was take a knee and let the clock run out. And the Texans win 34-17 over the Titans. Houston goes to 8-3, and Tennessee falls to 5-6. And I got to give credit to where credit is due. Boy, what a night for Deshaun Watson. 19 of 24 carries and attempts, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. And Marcus Mariota, Titans quarterback, 22 of 23, 303 yards, and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And we'll have a great Monday Night Football matchup for you next week. The Washington Redskins will take on the Philadelphia Eagles next Monday night. So we'll look forward to that. The Cavs will be back in action tomorrow night as they will take on the Oklahoma City Thunder at Chesapeake Arena in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Drew's crew knows they will need to have a really good strategy and setup to beat the Thunder as they try to as they will try to bounce back after having their 2-game win streak snapped in the loss against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Monday. Now, the key to beating Oklahoma, they're going to have to really put the pressure on the defense and offense, but Paul George as well. So we'll see if they can do it tomorrow night. Tip-off is at 8 p.m. on Fox Sports Ohio. After walloping the number 4 ranked Michigan Wolverines 62-39 last week, the number 6 ranked and 11-1 Ohio State Buckeyes will take on the Northwestern Wildcats in the Big Ten title game at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Urban Meyer says and acknowledges that Northwestern has a huge advantage from being able to prepare for Ohio State ahead of time. While the Buckeyes, ahead of time, while the Buckeyes had to focus all of their efforts last week on playing Michigan, now the Buckeyes have to catch up. Myers is very confident his team will catch up and be ready to play against Northwestern on Saturday, and Meyer wants Tate Martell to play. If the Buckeyes want to come out of this game with the win and qualify for the college football playoffs, they will really have to put the pressure on the QB and the offense and defense as well. If they can dominate this game early and really field the Wildcats' plays and run the pocket and stop the Wildcats' offensive defense and their quarterback, I feel the Buckeyes will beat Northwestern on Saturday. Kickoff is at 8 p.m. on Fox. Well, we'll get to the Browns in just a moment, but first, but it is now time for the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL football 101 trivia question. What NBA player scored 100 points on March 2nd, 1962? If you said Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain, you are correct. On March 2nd, 1962, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain of the Philadelphia Warriors, this was before they were the Philadelphia 76ers, scored 100 points, the most ever by an NBA player in a single game, during his team's 169-147 win over the New York Knicks. Chamberlain shot 36 of 63 from the field and 28 of 32 from the free throw line. He also snagged 25 rebounds. I have another trivia question on my next podcast tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Now, after a big 35-20 win against the Cincinnati Bengals in Week 12 last week, the Browns are getting ready to take on the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas, after the Texans' big win last night over the Titans. Head coach Greg Williams says this game against the Texans will be an explosive challenge for the Browns in Week 13. Now, the key for Baker Mayfield, who will be the starting quarterback, and the Browns, is for them to stop the Texans' quarterback, Deshaun Watson, as well as their offense and defense. Now, if the Browns can dominate this game early, they need to come out and dominate early. They've got to score. They've got to run the pocket. If they can do that and field the Texans' plays, then I feel the Browns will win this game this Sunday. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. on CBS 19. Well, and don't forget Thursday Night Football, and I think I'll let you know who it is tomorrow, what I will do. But I'll be back with that on Thursday for the pregame and postgame show for that. And I'll be back with another podcast tomorrow. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for Scott Sports for this edition of Scott Sports 101. Excuse me. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.